Let's knit these socks. And I have long tails because I just finished my gauge swatch. And just move my stuff around so I have more space. So yeah, I just knit my gauge swatch and I realized that I will need 3mm needles. The pattern says to use 2.25, but like I mentioned in the previous video, my previous socks were way too tight and were not stretchy at all. So I decided let's do a new gauge swatch, rethink the sizing and stuff, and let's hope for the best. So yeah, first thing first, like I mentioned last time, I think I'll do them toe up instead of cuff down like the pattern asks for, or because I'm really scared thinking. Yeah, I think no. Let's do them cuff down. Let's do them cuff down. I had the thought because if I run out of brown wool, well, if I run out of the wool I just made, I thought I would frog my previous attempt, and it's not the same brown. It's like a lot more red, but I think like if I can hide it in the toes, which is just like a dot every now and then, it's not gonna be as noticeable. On the other sock, it's gonna be more noticeable, but like I'll alternate the row, so it's gonna create like some kind of gradient. So I think that's gonna be the plan. Hopefully we won't have to do it, but we might. But let's be prepared. And as you could see as well, I'm using a very long circular knitting needle. And the reason why is we're gonna be doing them 2 at a time. 2 at a time. Yeah, so let's cast on and knit. Start those socks. So let's cast these socks on. This is the exterior. Just untangle these a little bit. I feel like I'm gonna have to do it the entire time, but let's start clean and then figure the rest out. So my favorite kind of stretchy cast on is this one. I think I did it on one of my sweater. Basically you create a first loop and then you go under and then through, and it's getting stuck on my thumb, and then it creates a stitch. So under and then through, under, through, under, and through. Just keep on adding stitches. I was thinking this video will be a sock knitting tutorial. I know the pattern is a paid pattern, but I'll explain what I do as I'm knitting them. I will not show the charts, I will not show the amount of stitches. I will just like explain how to build the sock like in a general way. Because mostly for the heel, I have a lot of friends that are asking me how I knit my heels. So it's the main part that I will be explaining. Because the pattern is asking for a afterthought heel. I don't really like that, so I'll just knit it as I usually do. And yeah. So basically, to start, you create a long chain of stitches, the amount that you will need. You can calculate how many you need by doing a gauge swatch if you don't want to use a pattern. And then plug your and then plug the amount of oh my god, Demi. Can I talk now? Thank you. So, as I was saying, I will link a calculator down below. What I do usually is I will knit a gauge swatch and then enter like how many stitches, how many rows I need to create an inch. And then the tool asks you for the ease that you want. It's going to be a negative ease. And then it's going to give you a pattern. It is a machine knit pattern, but you can use it to knit it by hand as well. It's going to ask you to put stitches on hold, but I will explain how to translate that to doing a short row heel when we get to that. So I will finish casting on my stitches and I will be right back. Alright, I managed to do my cast on. Of course, the problem was me. I didn't look at any instruction and I decided I know how to do this, but of course I didn't. So the trick is, if you want to start your cuff down 2 at a time, the trick is to start like half of one sock and then do your second cast on entirely and then do your second half. So that way you have like 2 entire socks. So that's the trick. Now let's start our ribbing. So yeah, well, for ribbing, usually for socks, I know some socks are like 1x1 ribbing, but I prefer 2x2 because it's like a stretchier but also tighter rib. It stretches more, but it bounces back more from what I've seen. I tried 1x1 and like it doesn't look good. It looks busy as well. So I'm going with a 2x2 ribbing. As you can see, we got some color work started. Oh no, my marker. Got it. So we got our color work started, and also my favorite part of doing color work, the mess of tangling yarn. So it's getting there. I feel like it's a lot stretchier than my previous attempt. Maybe using the correct size needle helped a lot. And yeah, I got the little tops of the acorns started, and that's fun. It's I like color work because like you want to do the next row to see the picture start appearing, which makes it go faster. So yeah, if you were doing a like to come back to the sock tutorial part of the video, if you are doing just a plain sock, that would be just plain knit stitch, stockinette stitch, and you continue till you have the desired length for your leg. So like if you want the shorter sock, you don't make as many rounds. That's all up to you basically. And if you want like a knee-high sock, then you would have to do like very a lot of stockinette stitch here, and you would also have to like start wider and then do some decreases because your legs are not as thin next to your not heel, but that joint that flexes on your foot. Second language stuff. In French, it's cheville. So yeah, if you want to follow along, just continue with either some mosaic, some color chart that you find online that you can divide your number of stitches by. And yeah, just continue till we start turning the heel. In my case, I have a color work chart to follow, so I will follow it until I'm done and then start turning the heel. So now it's time to show you the first mistake of this project. If you look at the color work here, you'll see that on the squirrel neck, I needed to have all those 5 stitches white, but I only did 2, and then those 3 are brown. And the problem with 2 at a time is I can't just skip here because there's this entire sock in the way. So what I'll have to do is probably I think I'll get another circular needle maybe and just move this entire sock on another needle and then fix this issue and then put that back on. Wish me luck. The other solution is just to embrace it, but I mean, it's an easy fix. Let's fix it. Let's be a responsible adult and fix our mistake right now. So I got some good news and some bad news. Good news is I'm almost done with the little squirrels on my socks. They're super cute. I love the pattern. Bad news is they don't fit me. And then you'll ask, oh, you did your gauge swatch this time, and they should fit you. The thing that happened is there's 4 different sizes in the socks, and my gauge swatch was closest to the smaller socks. I was figuring that using bigger needles should average it out, and even if I had, it wasn't perfect. It was closer, but my gauge swatch needed more stitches than the small one. So I didn't want to have oversized socks, so I went for the smaller one. The issue is, I think the amount of stitches that I needed was just the amount that I actually needed to make them fit. So let's start over. Let's frog these, and I think I'll have to recake the two skeins because it's gonna be super messy. But yeah. Let's start over. Hooray! Look at those little squirrels. They're starting to be so cute. I love them so much. So soft as well. They're gonna be really warm socks. And we're done with the color work. Well, the leg. The color work for the leg, because there's a bit of color work on the foot, but not as much. Not as detailed as this. So yeah, I finished. I went to a knitting get-together at my local yarn store, so I finished the 2 last line of color work, and I did one of the heels, and I decided to stop knitting over there and show you guys how I make heels. So I'll bring you closer and I'll show you my super simple method of making heels, which I think is called a shadow wrap heel, or it's a kind of short row heel. It's basic, one of the basic heels, simple but effective. So I'll bring you closer and show you how I make it. Alright, so all you need is, your knitting needle and yarn, and some stitches. It always works better if your stitches are cute, like these ones. where's the camera? Like these ones. So I'll be using the little mermaid cat. And one of the penguin, because you need 2 markers. If you work in the round with like the short needles that I sometimes use, it helps that you use 4 because you want like your 2 corners. But since we're on essentially working flat, these are my corners, so they won't move. But if you go in circles, you want to see like where you start and finish your heel. So 2 markers for my case, but 4 if you're working on short needle in the round. So we will set up ourselves. Nothing really complicated. I'm just trying not to make a huge mess. Also, one thing I've learned while doing color work 2 at a time, yarn becomes a huge mess very quickly. So if you do so, be careful managing your yarn. So I will start by sliding. No, I'm not sliding it there. If you were working in the round, you would slide your first marker to say that this is where you start your heel. But since we're not working in the round on small needles and we're doing 2 at a time, we don't need to mark that. So essentially, we'll knit across all the way almost to the end. We're just not grabbing the last one. So I'll do 1 pass. All right, so I did my row and I'm on the last one. What I want to do is wrap my yarn around this one to anchor the working yarn on this side. So how I do this is I will slide my yarn forward like I want to purl, and then I'll slide the stitch over and then put my yarn back like I wanted to knit, and I'll slip it back. So now my yarn is coming back. Like if I turn my work, you can see my yarn is coming from this stitch instead of that stitch. So that's what we want. And this is where I'm gonna put my first marker to say this is the last one that we have turned around. And now I just purl my way across to the last stitch. So I'm not knitting the last stitch, just like we did. So I just knit the before last one, and I have the last one here. Doing the same, I will switch my yarn to the front of my work, well, the back of my work. Slide my stitch around, switch my yarn back at the front, and then slide my stitch back. And turning my work, putting my second marker. So if you look at the entire thing, hopefully I'm in the camera. Yeah, okay. So if you look at the entire thing, we have 2 markers, and on the outside of those markers, we have 1 stitch. So what we want to do is continue that way, knitting to the last stitch before the marker, then turn the yarn around it, move the marker inwards, and then do this until we have, like, in my case, it's 7 stitches outside of the markers on both sides, and then we'll increase back out of the short rows. So I'll do the first one to show you again, and then I might skip to when I increase my stitches, because this is gonna take forever. And I don't think everyone wants to stay until there, until then. So just simply knitting across. So again, 1 stitch before my marker, switch my yarn like I want to purl, then I slide my stitch around, move my yarn on the other side, get my marker out of here, bring in my route, and then just slide my stitch, put my marker back, and then purl my way to the other side. So I will continue like that until I have 7 stitches outside of that marker, and same for the other side, and then we'll start increasing back out. All right, so here we got, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and on the other side we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, the little white one there. So we're ready to increase back out and go back to like the full circle. So I'm halfway there. I'll just finish my row. So last time we stopped to the one before the marker. This time we're gonna knit this one. We're gonna take the marker out, put it there, and then we want to start increasing. So we'll knit this one, and then do our yarn swoop-de-whoop and put the marker back on. So as you can see, it's really, really simple. Just need to increase your number of stitches. Back out, one by one on each side. So now I'm just purling my way over to the other side. And I'll do the same thing. So now I'm one stitch before my marker. I will knit it, remove my marker, knit that one too, and then I switch my yarn like I want to knit. I pick my stitch up, switch my yarn back purl-wise, and slide my stitch to the other needle, and then put my marker back on. So if we look at it, we now have 6 stitches on this side, line frame, yes. 6 stitches on this side, and we should also be 6 stitches on this side as well. So 5 brown and 1 little white one that's stuck in the crack. So 6 stitches on this side as well. These are really cheap interchangeable needles, so they keep unscrewing. So yeah, basically just do that until you finish all your like short row back out to the first one, and then you'll have a heel, and then you just start knitting in circles again. So yeah, I'll see you again when I finished increasing, and I'll show you, like, because in my case I want to do a color change, so there's like, it's not complicated, but it might not be obvious to everyone. So I'll just I'll show you when I'm there, which shouldn't be too long. So I am now at my marker on purl side, so I can now remove it and purl the stitch like I would do. But this time, instead of turning around this stitch, I will just no, I need to, well, I will purl it. I'll just finish my row and turn my work over and start knitting with my main color, which is white. And hopefully, by doing this, I won't have a little hole next to it. Well, I need to pull on it a bit. Both colors, make it tight, and that way I should not have a hole if I did everything right. But I can't promise anything, because I'm also a beginner. I will also need to untangle all my yarn, because it's a mess. Oh yeah, I forgot. I had such a big tangle that I had to roll my my yarn in a little ball that I crammed in the hole. So that's why it's hard to pull on it, because it's in the ball. And also there's still a crack here. I hate these needles. It's fun because they were cheap and I have like all the sizes that I needed, but sometimes they're hell to work with. They were also like $15, so I don't care too much. And we're almost, well, we are at our marker. We can now remove it. We do not need it. And with our last stitch. There we go. So we now have, am I in frame? Yes, I am in frame. We now have a beautiful heel. And from now on, it's gonna start looking like socks instead of just weird sleeves. So there you go. This is how I make heels. It's not the way the pattern said to make them, but this is how I make them. Since it was an afterthought heel, it doesn't really matter in my opinion. So I just made them as I like to make them, and now I will go back to following the pattern, which is simple color work. So it should go faster now. So there we go. Let's keep on knitting the foot, and we'll have some really beautiful and cozy socks for this winter. Whoops, I bumped the tripod. So we'll have some beautiful, warm, cozy socks for this winter, and I cannot wait to try them on. And we are now sock shaped. I'm probably like halfway through the foot or something. Yeah. And if I sound sick, because I'm sick, I started being sick recently after seeing my friend with their kid, of course. So I've been staying home and knitting, as you can see. And also, I'm slowly playing Yard Chicken. This is what remains of the white, and this is our beautiful brown that I'm fast running out. So I may be using another brown I have. It won't be matching, but I plan to do like a gradient shift to the other one. So like maybe in 2-3 rows, I'll start shifting like 1 row, 2 row, 1 row, 2 row, just starting the gradient, and then 1 row, and then like vice versa. I guess it's gonna be easier when you see it. Just trying to blend the 2 shades of brown together. At least like when I will be wearing shoes, you won't see it because it's gonna be marker. It's gonna be towards the toe, so it won't be as apparent as if it was like in the cuff. But yeah, it's getting there. Oh yeah. I love like when I'm done with the heel. Like it feels magical. It finally feels like you're knitting a sock instead of just like a random tube. So yeah, always happy when I pass the heel. Home stretch, yeah. And we are done with our beautiful socks. Yeah, I managed to finish them on, well, in October, on the 20th, not 20th, 30th of October. So I managed to do my Socktober challenge. Yay! If you want the proof, you can go on my Instagram. I posted a post on October 31st. With these socks finished, so I have the proof there. Yeah, really happy with the result. They are very thick. I was scared that, because they're not very stretchy, I was scared I would not be able to fit my foot still in it. But I think it's just because I knit maybe too tight when I do color work. And you can see it by the wobbliness of my knit. If you look, like it's not super flat. These are blocked, by the way. So it's not super flat. There's like a lot of wavy texture between like between the colors. This one is more flat, this one is more textured. But yeah, maybe I tried to pull too tight on when I make my color switch or when I secure floats. So that's something I will have to work on. Otherwise, very, very warm. Since they're really thick, since I spun the yarn like thicker than I thought I would, they ended up being very thick, but it's fun because they're very warm for when it's cold, like today. I've worn them all day today, and like I wouldn't need slippers with these on. It's yeah, I think it's gonna be my winter socks. My indoor winter socks. I don't know if I would like go on hikes with them because like again they're very thick, and also I don't want to like have pilling on them too much from like the friction of the boot because the motif is very cute and I don't want to break them. So yeah, really happy with the result. If you want to see, because I made an attempt before, and one thing I realized this was my first attempt. As you can see, there's also a very big size difference. This one, my foot was not fitting in this one. It was not stretchy enough, and like my foot wouldn't fit in it. This one, I followed the pattern with like the needle sizes that they were giving me with the yarn I spun, but I guess the yarn might have been not as thin as I thought it was. Or maybe I just knit too tight when I do color work. That might be also a big reason why. But one thing I've seen from my first attempt with somewhat the same blend, this one ended up being, like the new one, the one that I finished recently, ended up being like fuzzier than the first attempt. And like the pattern is not as clear on these ones. Like mostly the squirrel is more lost in it, I feel. But I don't mind it. They're really cute and I love them. And they're gonna have a lot of use this winter because apparently it's gonna be a cold one. Yeah, let me know if you've ever knit these socks, what you thought about it, and well, just how you feel about these. Also, I was scared I was gonna lose yarn chicken, so there's lines of the yarn I spun for this one, so like it's more red. There's like a few lines in there, and then I realized I was reducing for the toes at that point, so I went back just using the regular brown without frogging. So I have some reddish brown in there, but I like it. It gives it character, and I'm really pleased with the result. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed the Tarantino reveal edit, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.